Genshin is creating solutions to problems that don't exist by giving players beginner features 3 years later after the game's release. And I'm sitting here wondering how HoYoverse seems to add the most useless features that no one asked for in their game. In the recent 4.5 live stream, you may have missed the developer discussion where HoYoverse mentioned that they created new character building optimizations. Specifically, they made a training guide for new players that provides character building suggestions based on data gathered from recent active players. Sounds a lot like a feature Genshin recently added in a previous patch, where they had artifact suggestions, but it seems like now they're taking that system to an extreme with character building. And their reason for doing this new training guide is because HoYoverse is aware that building characters can prove to be quite perplexing for new travelers. Now listen, I don't want to be doom posting here, because yes, this feature can be useful for players, but we need to talk about this in the right context. So first, let's get into everything this guide offers. In the new training guide menu, when building a character, you get 4 different categories to focus on: character level, weapon, artifact, and character talents. In the character level tab, it tells you whether or not leveling your character is worth it. In the weapon and artifact tab, the guide recommends commonly used weapon and artifact configurations based on active player data. And finally, the character talents tab ranks talents by priority. Okay, so we just simplified the entire developer discussion of this patch, and after reading that, I can confidently say that nobody asked for this. Listen. I get it. 4.5 is a dead patch, and strategically HoYoverse is adding boring features just like this to help new players when the game comes back to life during its 5.0 release. I completely get that, but was this really necessary? I mean, the game's been out for 3 years, and throughout that time, content creators and gaming news journalists have been making guides on everything HoYoverse outlined in this training guide. And they've been doing this, again, for 3 years. Everything that HoYoverse included in this training guide already exists somewhere on the internet. I just don't see why Genshin needs to implement a feature like this now. I mean, it's not like it's a new game or anything. Genshin is a game with an established community that will make public guides for players the literal second any information drops about a new character. What I'm basically saying is that there is such an easy access to information that a training guide in-game is almost irrelevant, especially if they allow the player and stop holding their hand to use some common sense and actually read on how their character's kit works and find out what works well with it. But besides that, I want to know, what is Genshin preparing us for? They're giving us this training guide that measures how well built our characters are for what endgame content? The Mario Party ripoff games they give us every patch? Now, don't get me wrong, I actually am a fan of this training guide. It's just the fact that they're adding it 3 years late, and I don't believe that in 2024 anyone is asking for this feature. But hey, I might be wrong, and if you're one of those players, please let me know in the comments, because I genuinely want to hear from your perspective. If you're building a character, how difficult is it?
Remember the new training guide that we mentioned earlier? That's also a new feature that's coming to version 4.5.
What is
Travelers
this?
who are adventure rank 12 or higher and have completed the quest, Welcome to the Adventurers Guild, will be able to refer to this guide by accessing the Paimon menu, or pause menu. This guide will provide enhancement goals and suggestions based on the levels, weapons, artifacts, and talents of your characters.
What? They're giving like an in-game guide? Telling you how to like build your characters and level them and everything? Couldn't people just use a little bit of like common sense?
It also takes your maximum world level into account.
I don't feel like this is a needed feature.
Hopefully, this guide will be helpful to travelers who've just started their journey into that.
More new features for new players. I don't feel like that's needed. Give us more endgame, please.
For sure.
No way they adding 60 new systems to make building characters easier, also people can clear Abyss with an extra 2 minutes to spare Lamau.
Like, they're adding so many new systems to build characters. I mean, it's cool, but I feel like you could just, like, isn't that what YouTubers are for? And like, news articles and stuff? You could like look up guides. You could look up like a 2-minute video. Look up a guide and see what a character needs. I don't feel like the game itself needs to do that. Just add endgame for real, that's what I'm saying! Stop giving more, like, beginner features. We have enough beginner features. YouTubers and articles and journalists, they already do all that work. There's no need to make an in-game tutorial on what artifact you need, or you could just use some common sense. If you want to build a pyro character, maybe get a pyro artifact, something that increases your pyro damage. Like, let players kind of think on their own a little bit. They're holding your hand throughout the entire game. I wish they'd let you think on your own a little bit.